people of Ghana, it's a Nigerian Get Pleasure bringing you political news in our channel, Ghanatube. Here are the recent happenings in Ghana. Please watch.
Wow.
And in some news coming through the ZAR, and Accra High Court has ordered the Electoral Commission to collate and declare the Ablekuma North and Nsawa Madredri constituency results. This is despite the opposition NDC's objection to the process. Let's take you to the court right now. Lord Edwasare is my colleague at the court. He will join us with a bit more because we know that the NDC had taken some constituencies to the High Court following what the Electoral Commission said was an illegal declaration in these said constituencies, was seeking to have the declarations done again, which meant that collation was going to happen again for final declarations to take place. The NDC objected to that, said there was no legal basis upon which the Electoral Commission could proceed on that front. Well, we're getting indication that or the plea which they took to court might not be what has been granted by the court. But let's try and refresh your mind again, really, as to the affected constituencies that the NDC has sought to take to the High Court. And they include Okaikwe Central, Ablekuma North, Dom Kwabenya, Tema Central, and Obuasi East as well. And their main concerns that EC officials already declared NDC candidates as winners, and that the EC lacks the power to recollate, recount, and redeclare results. Those were the concerns upon which they headed to the High Court. Let's take you right now to the courts where my colleague Lord Edwasare is stationed and get an understanding as to exactly really what's transpired. Lord, talk to us. Ablekuma North, the High Court says they should recollate and declare, but there's a mention of Nsawa Madredri as well. How did that become a part of the constituencies under litigation?
Right. So, Marina, you recall that the New Patriotic Party filed judicial review of the mandamus at the High Court for some 6 constituencies regarding the election. Now, the NDC also, in a separate suit, had sued the EC, restraining, as it were, urging the court to restrain them from doing so. Now, this morning, when the case was called, for the MPP's case, they did not cite the NDC as a party to the case. So in that mandamus, once they went to the court, the EC did not oppose to their motion for the collation and declaration of the results in those constituencies. Now, after that, the presiding judge in the matter ruled in favor of them. But at that point, FG Samaklo, who is the lead counsel for the NDC, filed a joinder in the case, but it was declined because the judge indicated that he did not come properly, and so that was declined.
Right. So, Lord, let's try and clarify really what we're hearing. These orders which have been granted by the High Court are specific to the proceedings as filed by the governing New Patriotic Party and not the NDC.
Indeed. So where the Ablekuma comes in is the mandamus filed by the NDC. So in granting the mandamus after EDG filed a joinder and was declined, the judge proceeded to make his ruling and then was mentioning the constituencies that the NPP had filed. But then he held on because he held on for some constituencies after mentioning the Ablekuma North. And then for the reason why Nsawa Madredri came in was that he ordered for it to proceed with the collation and declaration of the results. Now, after EDG closed coming in and then it was declined, their case was heard later after the judge had made his declaration or ruling. And so their case, if they had actually, as I stepped out, their application for the review was also making the arguments why judge regarding the EC to come in. So all those arguments were coming in place, and that was why the presiding judge held on to mention all the other directions or the orders for the other constituencies for it to be collated, because as it stands now, the NDC are now making their with the second case. There are 2 separate cases, and the NDC case is now being heard. And so it remains to be seen what the court will do, because now there's an order for Ablekuma North to collate the results, and then another order for Procedural to proceed with the collation and declaration of the results, Marina. So as I speak, Edwin Samaklo was on the floor making this argument, and then Justin Amanubo, lawyer for the EC, was also doing things.
Interesting development, because this order by the court for Nsawam Aduejuri to proceed as well, we know that the NDC had gone to court separately seeking an injunction on that entire process. And so what? Does it quash the injunction which was sought by the NDC, and another suit which was filed by the candidate in Nsawam Aduejuri was seeking to have the entire election rerun again? What happens to those separate suits?
That's a tricky aspect of it, Marina, because the NPP's case has already been hit, and the NDC motions, as it were, are now being heard by the court. And so we are yet to see what the orders now will be from the presiding judge after he made the initial order. So we are waiting to see how things will turn out. Marina, I need to add that the court premises and then the outside of it, I'm talking about the hallway, they are filled with NDC supporters who are very keen about the
outcome
ongoing. So the whole court is, and everyone is very keen to know what's happening.
Right then, Lord, keep safe for us. That's my colleague, Lord Edwasare. In court, it's a packed court, because he tells us the supporters of the NDC have thronged the Accra High Court. And so a bit more clarity from what Lord has been telling us. There have been 2 suits as filed in relation to a number of these constituencies. The governing New Patriotic Party has headed to the High Court with 6 constituencies on their plate, while the NDC went with 5. Now, the rulings or the orders which have come from the court as we speak, which affect Ablekuma North and then Nsawam Aduejuri, are specific to the case which was taken to the court by the governing New Patriotic Party. And so the NDC, which has taken 5 of these constituencies, which we walked you through in not in Nsawam Aduejuri, Ablekuma North, Okaikwe Central, Drom Kwabenya, Tema Central, and Obuasi East. One of those constituencies, Ablekuma North, there's been a ruling on it by the judge in respect of the suit which was taken before the court by the governing New Patriotic Party. And the expectation now is that the NDC is making their case in relation to the 4 others, and then the judge will be making a determination shortly. We here will provide you details of it, but we can switch our focus now and talk education.
Now, government has released some 25 million cedis out of 118 million owed.
Please do it to like, comment.